Today, we're diving into something that affects millions of us, depression. But we're going to look at it through a really different lens, a scientific model that might just change the way you think about it entirely. So let's start with a big question. We usually think of depression as a kind of malfunction, right? A bug in our system, a breakdown. But what if it's not? What if it's actually a feature? That's the core idea behind a new model called the Harmonic Scale Framework. It argues that depression isn't just random chaos. Instead, it's a very logical, very ordered defense mechanism, a protective mode that our brain switches on for a very specific reason. Let's get into how that works. To get our heads around this, the model breaks down our inner world into three key parts. You can think of it like the command structure that guides you through your life. First up, you've got something called the S field. This is the deepest part of you. It's your core identity, your values, your sense of purpose. It's your why. It's your North Star. Then there's the M field, or the mentifield. This is basically your mental command center. It's where you think, you plan, you process information, you run all those what-if scenarios. It's the brain's workspace. And finally, the K channels. This is the hardware. It's your physical brain and body, the parts that actually receive the orders from that mental workspace and carry them out in the real world. Okay, I know those terms are a bit abstract, but here's where it all clicks into place, because the framework gives us this fantastic analogy to tie it all together. So think of it like this. Your S field, that's the captain, the one who knows the destination and gives the ultimate purpose for the journey. The M field, that's the navigation room with all the maps and charts of the world. And the K channels? Well, that's the ship itself, the engine, the rudder, the whole thing that actually sails the seas. When everything's working right, the captain's orders are clear, the map is accurate, and the ship responds perfectly. So, if that's what a healthy system looks like, what goes wrong? How does this protective mode, what we experience as depression, get switched on? Well, the model says it all boils down to two specific problems happening at once. First, you've got a ghost signal. Imagine there's an old, painful experience that never got fully processed. It's stuck on the charts in the navigation room like a phantom reef. The system just keeps trying to steer clear of it. And the second problem? A weak radio. The signal from the captain, your true sense of self and purpose, is full of static, or it's just too faint to be heard clearly in the navigation room. So when you get this perfect storm, a scary thing on the map, and a captain who's too quiet to give clear orders, the brain does what it thinks is the safest thing to do. It goes into lockdown. It locks the rudder, cuts power to the engines, and just stops. It wants to make absolutely sure the ship doesn't drift into that painful area. That state of rigid over-control is depression. The low energy, the numb feelings, the endless cycle of thoughts, those aren't the problem. They're the result of this protective lockdown. This brings up a really important question. Where does something like medication fit into this whole ship analogy? Well, in this model, medication is fantastic at working on the K channels, on the ship itself. Think of it like refueling the engine. You can see here the ship's energy bar shoots way up. That's huge for getting someone stabilized. But look at the other two bars. Medication alone doesn't erase the ghost signal from the map, and it doesn't fix the captain's staticky radio. And that right there is such a key insight. Giving more fuel to a ship that's still locked down with a faulty map and unclear orders is definitely helpful. It can get you moving again, but it doesn't solve the core navigation problem. The lockdown might get a little looser, but the reason for the lockdown is still there. So if refueling the ship is only one piece of the puzzle, what does a full path to recovery look like? The model gives us a roadmap, and it's called the dual repair principle. It's basically a two-pronged approach. Part one is all about the ship. The goal is to make the brain and body more flexible, to gently ease it out of that rigid lockdown state. This is called K-side activation, and it involves the fundamentals, right? Things like getting your sleep on track, getting sunlight, moving your body, all things that help the physical system become less rigid and more responsive. But that's only half the battle. The second repair is absolutely crucial. You've got to clear the map and fix the radio. This is called S-to-M repair. It means doing the work to safely process that ghost signal, that old pain, so it's not a terrifying reef on the map anymore. And it means reconnecting with your values, your purpose, to make the captain's signal strong and clear again, often by using practices that just quiet all the mental noise so you can finally hear it. So let's just zoom out for a second and look at the big picture.
What this model really offers isn't just a new set of techniques, it's a completely new chart for understanding the entire journey.
This quote from the actual research paper just nails it. It's not about a flaw, it's about protection. It says that healing isn't about forcing a broken system to work. It's about creating the right conditions, a flexible ship, and a clear signal from the captain so that the ship can finally sail freely again. And that's really the most powerful shift here. It reframes the whole experience. Instead of seeing depression as a sign that you are fundamentally broken, this model invites you to see it as a sign that your brain is trying its best to protect you from something, in the only way it knows how. Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on. What if the real key to getting better isn't about fighting our own minds or just fixing what seems broken? What if it's about listening and trying to understand what our brain is working so hard to protect us from? When you start from there, it changes everything.